welcome back to my channel. Today Richie and I are going to share a video about our cat adoption journey thus far.
Yeah, indeed. So I don't know about you, but I've always been a cat person, and obviously, you know, it's cat or dog, or both if you're lucky enough to do so. But at this stage in our lives, we've got a petite place in Putney Bridge, so I don't think a dog would be quite feasible. So,
and with our work commitments, it's just not possible. We don't have time to take dogs for a walk, as much as we love them, and we all know a dog is a man's best friend.
Yeah, absolutely, but also requires a lot of walking and stuff like that during
sadly we just
stuff.
couldn't.
But it's I think it's more the space. Cats are quite independent and stuff like that. But I don't know about you, but I've always had cats my whole life. Have you had cats before?
I love both cats and dogs. I haven't had cats or dogs my whole life, but I did in fact own a cat from a very young age. I bought a kitty from a cat breeder years ago, and it was a British short hair, a lovely breed, and I was quite keen to go down that route again, go to a cat breeder and ask for a British short hair, but it was Richie who insisted that we didn't go down the shopping route and that we in fact adopt, which is actually very endearing, so I'm very pleased that we did that.
Well, it's actually my mum that's sort of, you know, taught me that really. I was brought up in Cyprus, and I've always had cats, and my mum's dear mum, she's probably the mad cat lady on the hill now. I think she's got about 6 cats.
7, isn't she? Oh, yeah, now it's down to 6 now,
6.
yeah.
But so you know, they've been out there 35 years, and for 35 years had cats. So that's where I get it from. They've all been adopted. You know, next thing you know, we've got cats because my mum's just left some food out for them. They must be hungry, and then they come back, and next thing you know, one's pregnant, and we're having 6. Oh, blimey, we've got 7 cats now.
And Cyprus has a high rate of stray cats, don't they?
Yeah.
Did you say that already, or
no? There's cats everywhere. I mean, they're quite cute and cuddly, to be honest. But you know, you do need to be careful sometimes. I mean, they are wild cats. You've got to take them in, nurture them. You know, house train them if needed. Obviously in Cyprus and stuff like that, no one's got litter boxes and stuff like that. All the cats are running free. So you don't need to really worry about that, but that's why I wanted a cat. I've got fond memories of Cyprus really, and all the cats out there, and that's why I figured there's so many cats out there that need adopting, need good families. Obviously there's that sort of negative stigma in terms of cat breeding, rightly so. Obviously there's official cat breeders, but there are unofficial ones. So, you know, you can go both ways, but my preferred route would be obviously rehome. A cat that needs a nice home would be my preferred option, for obvious reasons.
I've married a good man. Well, I'm marrying a good man, aren't I? Yeah, well done, honey. So, we're going to tell you a bit about our journey from start till, well, it's 2 months ago now. We went on our cat adoption journey. So, I was actually obsessed with with kitten videos and cat videos, and every night I'd come home, I was constantly watching all these Instagram videos and what have you of cats. I was like, Richie, we really need to get a cat now. And
no, I mean, it was relentless. You know, I kept on saying no, it's not feasible. Where we live, expenses, going on holidays, who's going to look after the cat, all of these different things whirling around my head. Meanwhile, I, like any man, gets eventually beaten down to just say, okay.
Well, a home's not a home without a pet,
Let's get a cat. Let's get here.
Well, actually, how I managed to persuade you is that I actually signed up to a pet adoption site, and this lovely cat became available. It was a Siamese cat, half Siamese, and her name was Princess. We did actually rename her, but
we'd actually come to see Princess, who's now renamed Shimu.
I named her.
And she ran away from us, and we didn't know if it was the right thing to do or not to take her.
Well, we just felt bad because we were like, it's awful taking a cat or a kitten away from their home. It's horrible.
So
we weren't. It wasn't that we weren't keen, but we just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. She was nervous anyway, so taking her away from her home would be poor cat would be
I
depressed.
I noticed her brother, who wasn't scared, reminded me, funnily enough, of one of my first cats. Incidentally, the cat in question was called Tiger, my first cat. He's grey, lovely looking, really friendly, loved his belly being tickled, would come to me straight away. So I asked her if she wanted him to go. She said yeah. So we took him. Can you remember his name?
Well, so
Chino.
his name was Chino at the time, and we renamed him Tiger for obvious reasons.
Reincarnation of my first tiger.
But as soon as we brought him home, he was a completely different cat. He wasn't the cat that was loving,
sad,
and
really.
he was, bless him, he was petrified. He was in a new home with new scents around him. You know, he had lost his family effectively. He was with two complete strangers. So he started to hide. He just didn't want to come out. He didn't want to eat. He was hiding the whole time. And he's half Siamese. So their meowing is relentless. It's like a crying baby.
He was quiet for the first night. He didn't meow. He just looked miserable. So we were like,
so it's the next night that it started.
we decided, right, you know, if we're going to take this guy, this boy cat, we need him to have another cat. I mean, we live in an apartment. The only fair thing to do was get another cat, I figured. So we went back. Is she still available? Yes. We got his sister, which is amazing, by the way. It's worked out fantastic. But when we went back, got the female cat, Princess, reunited her with her brother. I think we've got some footage maybe that we might be able to see, but it was all good. No fighting, no squabbling. They all curled up around each other. It was lovely. But then it was 3 nights of absolute terror.
So a Tiger was meowing like a crying child.
Yeah.
The thing is, with a crying baby, you can get up, you can nurture the child, you can stop them from crying. With Tiger, there was no stopping. It was constant crying.
You know why that was, right? Can you remember?
Well, I think it was just separation anxiety. He was looking for mum and dad. I was looking for the sister, and then that was the second night. Shimu went missing. Shimu didn't go missing, but Shimu hid behind the kitchen cupboard.
And he didn't know where she was. So I shit you not.
You had to tear the kitchen apart to find
8 hours of meowing every 10 seconds. Right, that went on for 3 days. It was, I had the cat in one ear, as in the other ear. Meanwhile, I've got work the next day. I'm trying to sleep, can't sleep.
Both have work the next day.
Yeah, both have work the next day. So I mean, I consider myself a good person, but after 3 nights, like I found myself looking at this cat like. What do I do? I was thinking, shall I let him out the door? Like, be free. Take him back, please.
And we genuinely thought, have we made a mistake? These cats aren't happy.
We had a wobble.
We did have
a wobble. We actually had a wobble. We called her up and we were like, we didn't know what it was going to be like, and it's terrible. We hate it. We can't sleep. And quite rightly so. Quite rightly so.
For the cat's well-being as well. They were unhappy.
Rightly so. She actually, the previous owner said quite fairly, like, are you mad? It takes 2 weeks. How would you feel if you were like upped and rooted? So she stood her ground, and rightly so. It was only 3 days of torture. Then it all calmed down.
It was a week. A week.
Okay, but I mean, it's all worth it in the end. But you need these sort of pointers. You need someone who's been there and done it. This was our first time adopting. All of my cats previously, I'd lived with my whole life. And so it was a new experience for me. Your previous cat you'd had from like a
kitten,
week old.
so I never had those issues because they just, I was essentially his mum straight away. But there are lots of pointers, and we had some really good tips and wonderful advice from all our friends who are cat owners. And I really wish that I looked into this more. I mean, I did do a lot of research, but not enough clearly. And what we should have done from the get-go was to isolate both cats into small space. So we should have put them either in the bathroom with their litter tray and their food on each side of the room, just so that they can get used to the small space first and then slowly introduce each space to them. We didn't do that. We just kind of let them roam around freely straight away, and that obviously just scared them. Hence why they hid all that time. But look, it's been 2 months now, and Tiger, you know, we've neutered both of them. That was a whole nightmare in itself. I'll share some videos with you with the whole neutering process. You know, we wanted to get both. I took a day off work to take both cats to the veterinary to have them done, and it was impossible to get Tiger in the box. He literally fought with me, put his hands out. There was no way I was getting him in.
He's quite a big cat.
And I was all on my own trying to do this. So I'm calling Richie, crying. I'm like, I can't do this. It's awful. I feel like a terrible mother. And he was like, you've got to do it. It's for their own good. So
no, I just said as long as you get her in the box, we're
which
fine.
Was great advice. So yeah, eventually I was like, okay, look, she's going to be easier to get in. So I managed to get her in, which again was just horrible. But I just didn't, because I felt like they finally settled, and then to just take them away again into this box and their cat carrier, that they know something's wrong. I was just like, I was going to unsettle them again. So anyway, took her, again, it was just a nightmare. The poor girl, I'll show you the video. I'm going to share that with you now. Oh, she's so tired.
Oh, my darling.
Oh, Boo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my love. I'm sorry. Look at your wounds. It's so sore, my little baby. And look at your arm. What did we do to you? What did we do to you? My bad mummy. Oh, my bad mummy. Oh, that wound looks horrible. So you see how it was with the video with share that video. Anyway, so a few weeks passed, and then we both decided that you were going to take the day off work and you were going to take Tiger to the veterinary.
Yeah, well, I didn't take off the day.
Because the advice that we got from the vets, they said, look,
did it early in the morning, didn't we?
Yeah, well, the vets had advised me to, or advised us to, the best way to trick the cat into going into their box again.
Sounds so
great,
nasty, doesn't it?
It does, but it's the only way, because they're not going to get in that box. So Richie had to get a towel. We were advised by the veterinary.
I put him in the bathroom, so he had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Tried it first time round, just picking him up, and ended up getting scratched, usual. And then I followed your advice, which was lob a towel over his head, pick him up.
Well, the thing is, with putting the towel over him, you're restricting his arms and legs so he can't scratch you. But then you're also blurring his vision, so he can't see where he's going. So he won't panic.
Look, he was fine. At the end of the day, we just didn't know the right technique. Again, if you haven't done it before, you don't know the right technique. Take the cat, especially if it's a cat that's been in a box before. He knows what that's all about. He doesn't want to go in again. Most cats that have been in a box, they just they don't want to do it again. So put him in the bathroom, put a towel over his head. Obviously, if you've got the box upright, you can just put the cat back in. Obviously, put some treats and stuff, and it's quite an easy experience as long as you know how to do it. If you're tackling it with no towel, nothing, you'll end up with a couple of stitches or whatever. I mean, it can get quite nasty. So once again, that's how to do it. We didn't know how to do it, so we had a few war wounds here and there. But it's all worth it. I'll show you a few different clips, quite funny clips along the way after this. But all in all, we've done a really good job, and it's only taken us actually from start to finish.
2 months?
Yeah, say it's 2 months now, and they're transformed, these cats. I mean, they really are friendly. We're still working on Shimu, the girl cat. She's still a little bit timid, but she comes out. She has her moments. She comes over and wants a stroke when she wants to.
It's on her terms.
It's on her terms, which is fair enough. But we've got Tiger, who's will let anyone rub his belly. So he's and he loves
to be cuddled, which we love. So we like to carry him like a baby, don't we?
Yeah, those dreamies, by the way, those cat treats. That's enough to get any cat anywhere you want. By the way. We'll talk you through and show you some clips after.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you are a cat lover or a dog lover.
Who's not a cat lover or a dog lover?
Thanks guys. For supporting us, guys. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. There's a little box